All right, so I just came back from getting a haircut to see Karoline Leavitt once again lying to the American people, but also throwing some of Donald Trump's closest allies under the bus. This press secretary briefing that she had today was a total disaster for a number of reasons. So I want to show you some clips from the event and then we'll talk about them. But let's just start right here where Karoline Leavitt was asked again about the Qatari jet deal that Donald Trump is doing, and her answer is just incredibly strange. Have a look.
Thanks, Caroline.
Sure.
I wanted to just clarify once and for all the Qatari jet, the sale, or the gift, because the Qatari government is asking the U.S. to clarify that the jet's pending transfer was initiated by the Trump administration. So is this something that the White House is going to do?
The amount of questions we've received, and we've been incredibly clear, and I have answered this, the president has answered this, the Department of Defense has answered this. This is a government-to-government gift transfer from the Qataris to the Department of Defense, to the United States Air Force. It is now in their hands, and for further details on where that stands, I would defer you to the Department of Defense and the United States Air Force. I have nothing more for you on that.
Just blatantly lying. And what's really annoying me about this clip is she's seemingly kind of annoyed. Like she's frustrated that people keep asking her about one of the most corrupt deals, if not the most corrupt deal we've ever seen in American politics. Like these journalists, the American people, have a right to ask about this deal. And what she's saying right here, as we all know, is total lies, that it's just a government from government deal and that Donald Trump is not benefiting. It's going to his presidential library after he leaves office. So I have no idea what she's talking about. And the journalist is right. Like this deal between Qatar and the United States is not finished. And we just got some huge reporting from the Washington Post today that Donald Trump's Air Force One deal with Qatar is not final, despite his administration's claims. Despite claims by the Defense Department to the contrary, legal teams representing the U.S. and Qatari governments have not finalized an agreement for transferring the luxury Boeing 747-8 jetliner that Donald Trump wants for Air Force One amid outstanding requests by Qatar for Washington to clarify the transaction's terms, said officials with the matter. So this reporter is asking, hey, you are the White House. Why don't you clarify what you're talking about here? Why don't you clarify how this deal came to be? And she's saying, oh, I'm so upset that you asked me this question. Like they call themselves the most transparent administration in American history. And then when a journalist asks them to be transparent, she gets offended and starts like going at the journalist saying, oh, I've been asked this so many times. But what else does Karoline Leavitt do except lie and pivot? I mean, that's kind of the pretty consistent thing here. Look, the next clip I want to show you is Karoline Leavitt being asked about Donald Trump's trade deals and other countries being unwilling to deal with the United States because of Donald Trump. A reporter asked her, why would other countries continue these trade deals trade deal negotiations given the ruling? And just take a look at what she said here as well.
And on tariffs, Kevin Hassett earlier this morning, he brushed off a legal ruling, called it a hiccup, and he said that trade deal negotiations would continue. Why would other countries continue these trade deal negotiations given the ruling?
Because other countries around the world have faith in the negotiator-in-chief, President Donald J. Trump. And they also probably see how ridiculous this ruling is, and they understand that the administration is going to win, and we intend to win. We already filed an emergency appeal. We expect to fight this battle all the way to the Supreme Court. These other countries should also know, and they do know, that the president reserves other tariff authorities, Section 232, for example, to ensure that America's interests are being restored around the world. But I can confirm that our ambassador for trade, Jamison Greer, already heard from countries around the world this morning who said they intend to continue with these negotiations.
Once again, what is a ridiculous answer from Karoline Leavitt. Just pivot, pivot, pivot. It's kind of the name of the game with her. But her main claim here is other countries around the world have faith in the negotiator-in-chief, Donald Trump. What an absurd statement. Is that why these other countries are looking to other allies of ours to make deals with? Is that why Canada is looking to boost their cooperation with European countries? Is that why our major trading partners are finding other people to trade with? Because they have so much faith in the negotiator-in-chief. I can't even say it with a straight face. Donald Trump. Is that really? And I mean, we can also just take a look at all of the legally binding trade agreements that have been signed by the Trump administration since getting into office and since announcing his Liberation Day tariffs. And wow, what do you know? Since Liberation Day, it's been 47 days in and around, and we have zero. That's right. Not one, not two, not three, not 10, zero trade deals with other countries. So I'm just curious why Karoline Leavitt believes that all these other countries have faith in Donald Trump when none of them are making trade deals. None of them. None of them are even interested in making trade deals. They're just saying, hey, you're going to have all these tariffs on us? No problem, we're going to move. And her argument, once more, the last thing I'll say on this clip in particular, is that they're going to win at the Supreme Court. They're going to win at the court. No president has the authority to just say, oh, I'm going to put tariffs on all these different countries and raise the rate over 100%, for example, on China. We know that Congress has the authority to levy taxes and import tariffs and things of that nature. Donald Trump can't just subvert them, even if he is a wannabe dictator after all. But the final clip I want to show you is kind of a monologue that Karoline Leavitt did, saying she wants to debunk some false claims about Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill. And this is where she kind of throws Donald Trump's allies under the bus. Just have a look at this clip.
I also want to take the opportunity to debunk some false claims that have been circulating in the press about this bill. The blatantly wrong claim that the One Big Beautiful Bill increases the deficit is based on the Congressional Budget Office and other scorekeepers who use shoddy assumptions and have historically been terrible at forecasting across Democrat and Republican administrations alike. For example, just before Congress enacted the original Trump tax cuts at the end of 2017, the same CBO projected that growth would average a mere 1.9% over the next 10 years. However, by 2019, actual growth had surged to 3.4% once the Trump tax cuts went into effect, exceeding the CBO forecast by nearly 2 full percentage points. The CBO's latest forecast makes the same anemic growth assumptions as they did in 2017, missing the impact of the One Big Beautiful Bill. The CBO assumes long-term GDP growth of an anemic 1.8%, and that is absurd. The American economy is going to boom like never before after the One Big Beautiful Bill is passed.
Yeah, I love the tactic that Karoline Leavitt and other Trump officials always use. They just make these broad claims that this agency or this group of people are wrong and they are right. Like their argument always is Donald Trump is 100% correct here. He knows best than anybody else, and all these different agencies who are independent and have experts kind of looking at the effects of these policies, they're all wrong. That's what Karoline Leavitt is saying here. Just say, hey, ignore the data, ignore the experts, listen to us. She doesn't provide anything to back it up. She just kind of makes these broad sweeping claims and hopes that the American people fall for it. And the reason why I say this clip is kind of throwing some people under the bus is because Karoline Leavitt is making this comment just days after Elon Musk came out and said, I think a bill can be big or it can be beautiful, but I don't know if it can be both. He also said he was disappointed to see the Trump-backed big, beautiful bill, also arguing that it increases the budget deficit and undermines the work the Doge team is doing. He said this in an interview with CBS, and now just days later, Karoline Leavitt is coming out and saying, well, no, this bill actually doesn't raise the debt. It doesn't increase the deficit at all. All these other people are wrong. We are right. So it kind of seems like that friction between the Trump administration and Elon Musk is continuing, when actually Elon Musk is correct in saying that it increases the deficit by trillions of dollars over the next 10 years, and the Trump administration is just basically trying to lie to your face, to my face, to every single American, and I think that's incredibly disgusting. So look, I'll leave the video there. What a terrible thing to come home to, right? I just came home having a good day, and then I see this. My God, it's brutal. But anyway, I'll leave the video there. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you being here a lot. Make sure to subscribe to the channel down below. It goes an incredibly long way. Also drop a like on the video, comment, let me know what you think about Karoline Leavitt's press conference. And as I always say, I greatly appreciate you, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.